Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. I am out on the road and this is kind of an impromptu video. You may have wondered why I haven't posted anything. Well, that I'm traveling and so I've got a few videos that'll be popping up in the next day or two. But I did want to kind of go over some stuff with you. I've been chewing on this for a while, and it's basically the difference between cows and pigs. Bear with me, because we'll get into this a little bit further in just a second. More to come, guys. Okay, guys, what do cows do for us? Well, they provide milk and cheese, I guess, and then they also provide meat, and we take care of them. We herd them, we corral them into pens and areas, and then we allow them to graze where we want them to, and we let them eat this, and then we'll move them into another section, and then we'll close that section off and we'll allow them to eat in another section, and so on and so forth. And then a lot of times when the evening comes, we'll open the gates up and we'll allow the cows to come back in, and then we'll put out food for them, and that's how it goes until it's time to slaughter. And then we will take care of that. So meat is one thing that we do with cows, and the next thing is milk. And so we'll take the cows and take them out to the pasture, and then we will allow them to graze, and they'll graze, and then they'll come back in, and we'll hook them up to milking machines, and then we'll milk them, and that milk will go into the machines, and it's stored, and we'll milk them, and then we'll feed them and put them into their stalls or into corrals, and then that will be the day for the cow. Pigs are a little bit different. Pigs are not as docile as they seem, because a pig will always test. The cow can walk all the way around the pasture if it's 40 acres, and they will look at the fence. If it's 5 strands of barbed wire or 3 strands of barbed wire or a hot wire, and they'll look at it and they'll eat the grass below it, and then they'll eat the grass around it, and then they'll move on to the next spot. Pigs are a little different. Pigs test. You can put a pig into a pen. If it's a good pen, he's going to get out. The way it is with a pig. He'll go above it, he'll go below it, he'll go through it. It's just how it is with a pig. They will test and test, and you can feed them for 10 days, and they're docile, and the 11th day they decide to get out. That is how pigs are. So you can kind of see what is developing. The relationship between people and cows and pigs. Would you rather be a cow? Would you rather be a pig? Now, the interesting thing about cows, they get out. They do. Fence goes down, tree limb goes down across the fence, and cows get out. And they will walk to the other side of the fence, and they'll stop, and they'll eat. I know this from experience. And they'll eat, and they'll eat. They won't like it when you push them back onto the other side of the fence, but they'll go. You have to kind of push them, but they'll go. And then you put the fence back up. One strand of barbed wire or hot wire, whatever you want to do. But after they've been zapped once, they'll stay in. Now, pigs, again. Pigs, if you happen to lose them to a hole in a fence, wow. They will go literally, no pun intended, hog wild. They will go through it. Like I said, they'll go above it and they'll go below it, but they will get out of that if there's a hole or a weak spot in that fence. And they will use everything in there to their advantage. Once they're out, they are gone, because it's in a pig's nature to be partially wild or all wild, depending on how far they go. So you can have a pig that has been on your property for years. He goes through your fence and is out there for a little while. He starts to go feral. And genetically, actually, they begin to change. If he's out there for a season, he will begin to grow the hairs and the tusk, just like a wild feral hog. And the hogs, or the pigs that he produces, will bear that trait. It's amazing how fast they regress to wild. Actually, let's call wild free. It's amazing how fast they progress to free from being captive. It's amazing. Okay guys, now we're back. So let's take the pig and the cow and let's set them free, like we were talking about. Okay, cow goes free. And cow goes outside the fence and eats and wanders around a little bit and eats, and when the sun goes down, the cow tries to go back into the fence to get back to the barn where the food is. Because there's hay, corn, sweet feed in the fence. The farmer gives that to them, keeps them there. And then once they're there, then there's the milking, and then there's the slaughter. Something to think about. Now the pig sits there and he looks at the fence, and he looks at the fence and he's talking to his other pig friends, and some of them probably don't want to go, and they'll say, "What are you staring at?" And he said, "I'm getting ready to go over this fence." I said, "Oh, it's too high." He says, "Well, then I'll go under it." No, he dug the fence into the ground. And then the other pig says, "Well, then by God, I'll go through it, because I got to get out of here. I'm not supposed to be in the fence." And the other pigs say, "It's almost dinner time. Farmer's going to bring around corn. We love corn. I know you love corn. You eat corn." He says, "Yeah, but I'd love to be free more than I'd love to have corn." And then the pig goes under the fence, or he goes over the fence, or he goes through. Pick one. But he goes through. And then he's out. And then that change comes that we talked about earlier. After that first season, he begins to go a little wilder, a little rougher. He likes his independence. He knows he's independent now. And he doesn't want anybody to take that independence from him, that freedom. Cow's still in the barn eating corn. And the farmer, he's over there sharpening the knives. But the pig, he thinks, and he goes out, and he does all this. And after 1 year, the pigs that he has, the baby pigs, they look a lot more like a wild boar than the pig did, just because it's free. It's kind of funky. Now the cow, it's just going to go out there and have a calf. And then they'll both come back to the barn. It's kind of sad. More to come. Okay guys, now we're back. And that brings us to the point. Are you a cow or are you a pig? Now remember, those in authority in government, they bring the cows in and they milk them. And you could equate that to taxation, IRS, government. Regulations, laws, rules that don't amount to anything or matter to anybody. But there's that. And then there's the pig. And they try to regulate. Have you ever milked a pig? It doesn't work out real well. But these things are what we should have in our thoughts, in our heads, just not at the front, but just in the back. When people tell us you have to do this and you have to do that, and you know, it would be better for us to not have guns because that way none of the bad people would have guns. Like, really? No, not even in the movies. That doesn't work. So, I would ask you, and smarter people have you know posted these queries before. I would just ask you to think and look at it and go through it and just decide for yourself whether or not you want to be a cow or do you want to be a pig. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. In just a second you're going to see a picture of my ugly mug as well as my beautiful wife pop up on this side of the screen. On the other side are going to be some videos if we are indeed your brand of wacky. This is serious stuff. I would ask you to take care of your people, and I mean it.